Yo, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Stock Network. Guess who's? Look who's here, man. Look who's here. Look at next to me, man. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Cricket?
Man, been a long summer, man. Been a busy man, trying to get everything situated for the football season and get the boys back up in Minnesota situated for the school year and all that. I've been tied up, man. I've been wide open for a few weeks now, driving back and forth across the country and everything. But I'm back, man. Life's a little bit back to normal right now for a little bit. So I'll be jumping back in here with you each week. But how you been, sir?
Oh, I've been great, man. Summer is over, just like you. Stuff with the kids, vacationing. You know how it is, slows down a little bit in the sports biz. I try to stay as busy as possible. My personal job work kind of slowed down a little bit too. So life is good right now, man. We go into the time of the year now where we just conquer as parents. We just conquer summer. Now we got Thanksgiving and then Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Like it never ends, man. You know what I mean? You're either spending money for vacation and now you're spending money on holidays. You know what I'm saying? So
dude, you're not kidding, bro. I know my boys, all four of them, man. Their birthdays are May, June, August, and September, man. So I get pow. And as soon as all that's done, it's time for Christmas, bro.
It's like the quadruple shot here. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah, they get us, man. They always gonna get us. Kids ain't cheap. I learned that.
No, they're not.
They're all worth it, man.
Absolutely, man. And you know what's worth it? Breaking news, man. Everybody, you got 15 minutes to adjust your lineups. Christian McCaffrey is inactive tonight, boys and girls. So hopefully you didn't place your bets too early and you had him on one of your parlays. Most books internationally especially do not forgive that. So, hey, fantasy, you got time to take him out. And hopefully you had his handcuff in Jordan Mason, who will have a lot of time on the field tonight. He will be the number one back starting tonight.
If you do not have Jordan Mason as a handcuff, he is probably going to be available on a lot of waiver wires right now. If you are in a situation where you are in a close game in fantasy or something like that, and you were relying on Christian McCaffrey to bring you through to the promised land, and that is not going to happen now. It would not be a bad idea if you don't have somebody else available. Like everybody else already played, man. It's not going to be likely you have Breece Hall sitting there on the bench or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, go try to snag Jordan Mason off the waiver wire. Don't just take a goose egg in that spot and cost yourself a game, because you got to try to maneuver. That's how stuff's going to happen. And they're also saying already, man, it looks like he is going to probably be out next week at the Vikings.
Actually, and I think also, what is the backup for Jordan Mason, the third string guy? Because remember, Elijah Mitchell is gone. I think Mercado is his last name. I forgot. That's how we have no idea.
I think it's about to be a Debo show tonight now, man.
Yeah. I actually went ahead and place a last-minute parlay with Debo in it, anytime touchdown, and over his rushing props. And I decided to take over his rushing yards, all three of them, baby. I was allowed to take them. I'm going Debo, a one parlay on Debo, because he will be exposed tonight to like 120%.
Man, I got a sweet little anti-correlated parlay now that they had a bet yesterday where you could bet on DraftKings, and if there was a kickoff, you had to bet on a defensive team to score a touchdown. Any defensive team, defensive special team.
Yeah.
And then if there was a kickoff return for a touchdown, you got a portion of the prize pool in like a free bet. Well, I guess it wound up a lot of people opted in, but we still got a $20 free bet out of that for a $5 bet that
there
lost.
You go.
And I wound up putting on a little same game parlay for Debo anytime touchdown, Debo 25 plus rushing yards, but the New York Jets money line. And I put that little $20 free bet on it to win $480 there, man. So we're pulling that pretty hard.
Ooh, that's pretty nice, man. I mean, this one is about almost 600, plus 600 is a 5 and change. I haven't looked it up, but yeah, it's pretty nice because Debo's rushing prop was actually like 12.5 in the sports book I'm using.
It opened at 14.5 and then went down to 12.5. That's up my guy Will, my co-host on our morning show over on the Game On channel. He really liked Debo's under on the rushing props, and I didn't hate it at first, man.
No,
especially seeing that line go down. But now that McCaffrey has been ruled out, it's gone up to like 21.5.
Yeah, yep. I got it about an hour ago. Again, I knew McCaffrey was banged up. I didn't think he was going to sit. I thought he was going to play, but when that happens, you kind of be like, you know what? That means they're not going to use him to the McCaffrey volume that they're accustomed to. But hey, You know what, man? Hey, that's why you got to keep your eye on the ball, man. Sometimes these things pop up and erase the value. And Devo is prime to do it all tonight. You know what I'm saying? Running the football, catching the football. I think that defense for the Jets is going to force Purdy to, kind of get out of his comfort zone, move out the pocket, and hopefully hit Debo with some nice, nice little cross patterns. And of course,
see some slip screens worked in there. You'll probably see Kittle utilized more now than I thought he probably would have been previously. You take McCaffrey out of that lineup, you got to start looking for some other weapons. I think Jawan Jennings, some over on his props are probably a pretty good look because I think he will be more involved. He usually is when McCaffrey or Debo are absent from that lineup. So I think Jawan Jennings is another guy you got to look at there. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things, a perfect example why you have to look at handcuffs in fantasy football there. Fantasy football player, you got to always, especially if you got big-time running backs, injuries happen in the NFL all the time, especially at the running back position. So you got to make sure you have those spots so you don't get jammed up in a spot like this.
Well, like I was saying, the third running back, which was the fourth running back, before Elijah got hurt, is if you don't have Jordan Mason, because a lot of people picked up Jordan Mason that didn't handcuff McCaffrey. You know what I mean? Most people who picked McCaffrey should have picked Jordan Mason because we knew that he started the year banged up. Isaac Garendo, we have no idea who this guy is. Cricket, you're the college expert. I have no idea who the fuck this guy is.
Yeah, that name does not ring a bell to me. I'm sure he's a great player in his own right. Exactly. He made it to the league, so he got on a roster, so he's a bad dude.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely,
the name does not ring a bell right offhand.
Well, tonight we are back. We're gonna hit every game, all right? Because it's week 1, man. We're even the sucky ones like my Giants. We're gonna hit every single game, recap them. We also got a brand new segment, probably like a 5-minute segment, where me and Cricket are gonna give you our early picks for the week, like an early bet where we feel, you know what, man, this is early on during the week. Keep an eye on this or put the money on it because it's juicy. It's called the Unscripted Bets of the Week. Early bets of the week. May I just correct it? But anyway, man.
I like that, man.
Yeah. Man. With that being said, why don't we get started here, man? Let's start quicker with the injury report. Here's what I got going on, and I'm going to share a couple of these. I like this guy. I love Jesse Morse, MD. This account is awesome. He's an actual doctor, and he gives you some really good breakdowns of the injuries live and other good stuff. So here the following injuries have been confirmed. Jordan Love, we knew that on Friday night. Tough luck, man. I mean, it's one of those things that he got tackled and, his body went one way and the knee went the other way. And shit happens. You know what I mean? I know people are trying to call it a dirty hit. I don't think it is.
Nah, I don't think
a dirty play.
It's unfortunate that it happens with 5 seconds to go in the game.
Exactly.
But I don't think anybody was trying to hurt anybody any more than they are in any other play in the NFL. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever trying to hurt anybody, but people are going balls to the wall out there, and that's part of the game. It happens, but I do think the Packers dodged a major bullet there. It looks like they're not even going to place him on IR. Expect him to be out, 3 to 4 weeks. I don't even. I look more like
3 to 6 weeks, but count on closer to 6, man.
I would think closer to 6, but them not putting him on IR kind of. Maybe they've gotten some second opinions that say the sprain isn't as bad. You still got to be real careful with that guy. That's your franchise quarterback, but they also know that there's a small window there. Man, you've already lost the first game, and you lose him there. You can't fall in too big a hole, or it won't even be worth bringing him back this season. So the quicker you get him back, the better, obviously, but. Yeah, you're looking at a probably 4 to 6 week window.
Yep. Josh Allen, not important. Bagged his hand. He will be back, busting some ass.
They've already said he's ready to go on Thursday.
This is Josh Allen fantasy monster year. He's a big fantasy monster every year. We're gonna touch when we get to his game. But this guy right here, man, different animal when it comes to fantasy football.
He's special, man.
He is. Kenneth Walker. Why does this guy always pops up, man? He starts the year so good in the first game, and he always.
It's always a weird injury too, man.
Yes.
It's always like an abdomen or an oblique.
A rib.
Something really bizarre. It's like never, the injuries you would think you would see from a running back like him. He's a banger, dude. He'll get in there and run between the tackles, and he's a hard-nosed dude. I love Kenneth Walker going back to his days at Michigan State, but he does always have weird injuries like this.
Me too. And then you got his backup running back with a known injury. I don't know what this is all about. Zach Charbonnet, he's another one.
That's what I'm saying. Who's going to be the running back for the Seahawks next week?
Hey, that's a good thing. Look this guy up, man, before the week starts. Puka Nacua.
Hurts my heart.
That hurts a lot. I got him in one of my fantasy league. I'm in a couple of leagues, and one of them is a super flex league. And even though I'm winning this week, it's a tough hit, but I do have some nice wide receivers in the bench.
I built a pretty good little squad on my dynasty league I joined last year. I picked Puka up for like $3 last year early on in the season. I've had him ever since, but I built a pretty good repertoire of receivers behind him there. So I think I'll be able to avoid it, but I like my guy Puka, but I did warn people about drafting him too high this year because he was coming into the season banged up with the hammy through camp and all that. So I said be very careful with him. But now, tell you what, you got to feel a lot better. I did pick up Cooper Kupp in another one of my leagues, and I feel a lot better about his prospects for the next month.
Well, in the bench, I have Pickens and Godwin. I think I'm going to be okay.
You'll be fine, man. Godwin had a big game. Pickens looked, even decent. Even though they didn't score a touchdown, Pickens still showed up.
Yeah. You could tell that Pickens is, I guess he's becoming to the point that he's quarterback proof. You know what I mean? Because we'll touch that a little more.
That guy, I'm telling you, I've said it since he came into the league from Georgia. I watched that guy play at Georgia for years. Loved his athleticism. Loved his overall talent, man. He had, the ACL when he was down there. I think his second year. But that guy is an absolute athletic freak. And I've said all along, if they ever get somebody to throw him the ball, that'd be the best receiver in football, man.
Jordan Addison, ankle, early on. It's just, another wide receiver.
Jordan Addison's had a tumultuous couple of months, man.
I know, man. It hasn't been a good couple of months.
No.
Keenan Allen, unknown. Of course, he was already hurt before the game started. He's in prime mid-season condition right now because Keenan Allen's an animal, but he just gets hurt way too much.
He is an animal, but he has been injured since like 1997.
Exactly, absolutely. Like since he's got into the league. Jake Ferguson. This is tough for the Cowboys, dude, because they don't have a lot of people to throw the football to.
What did they say about him? What's that looking like?
He's gonna be. I think also same thing day to day, but it's more like 3 to 6 weeks as well.
Probably sprained that sprained MCL ain't nothing to play with, man.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, talking about sprained MCL, this is like the 5th or the 6th for David Njoku. I don't even know what the hell. I think it's concussion protocol, right? I don't know because he got banged up with a hit after he was heating up, and then after that,
I can't believe that monster ever gets hurt, man. I'm a huge David Njoku fan.
I'm a big U. I like the U, but this guy, fuck, man, he's soft.
He just has some bad luck. The man played a football game 48 hours after catching his face on fire last year.
That's right. I forgot about that.
And then that man came out a couple days later wearing like the Predator mask in the stadium and everything, trying to hide it from the trainers and played a football game. That guy's a freaking savage. One of my favorite players. But yeah, those ankles, that's a big dude, man. You got any of those lower extremities banged up, and it becomes a real problem for him.
And lastly, Foster Moreau. Again, it's like they don't need more tight ends. I mean, Juwan Johnson caught a touchdown. You still have what's his name? Oh my God, the switchblade. I forgot his name now.
Golly,
now we're both blanking out here, man.
Taysom Hill. I was like,
Taysom Hill. You know what I'm saying? It's not like these guys need more people at tight end to perform for them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like shit. Man.
Foster Moreau even caught a touchdown yesterday.
Yeah, man. It's like it's pretty wild, man. So I think that's pretty much what we have here with whatchamacallit with the injuries. Let me see. I think there was another tweet. Hold on a second. Oh, here we go. This is hold on. Let me go down here to the next one. Here we go. I think that's it. I don't think we have anything else that I know of.
Yeah, no, I believe that's all of my. I don't even want to.
There we go.
I'm not even going to say that. I'll say it next week because I don't want to say it for tonight's game because then it'll wind up happening. So, but yeah, I mean that's a pretty long list there, but it doesn't look like a terrible list.
No, it doesn't. All right, now let's get on to the games, my friend, because I'm not gonna. I think we've beat to death Friday and Thursday already. Why don't we just jump on to the Sunday slate? This is what the people are here for. And let's start with, of course, probably. Oh my gosh, I don't want to say ugly.
Disgusting.
It was disgusting. It was bad, dude. It was so bad. I mean, come on, man. When the kicker scores every single point for you, you know what I mean? That's a problem, and you still win. All right. What the hell? Captain Kirk stunk it up. At least he wasn't as bad as Daniel Jones, but he had himself some competition. You know what I mean? Wow.
Man,
what an ugly game.
I've been saying for months that I thought the Falcons were going to be terrible, and I'll be damned if I didn't talk myself in. There's seen a lot of steam coming on the Falcons, and I wound up talking myself into taking them this week. Gave them one more chance. They are on the no-bet list officially forever, but that was an absolutely disgusting performance yesterday, man. They jump out early on that thing, and the Steelers play Steelers football. They just hang around. They play.
That's what they do.
Defense. They beat you up over the course of the game, and 3.5 hours is a long time on an NFL field. And they just hang around, and they do what they got to do. They got a great kicker in Chris Boswell, man. Maybe I don't know how many, 3+ 50-yard field goals.
Yeah, the guy, like 6 field goals. I mean, it's insane.
He was I think the first player ever to have 6 field goals and a punt in a game. Wow. So, I mean, great performance by him. Shout out to him. But what a very disgusting win. And this is more about the Steelers are going to do this with everybody they play this year. They're going to be in the games. They're going to be gritty. They play like their head coach. And I love Mike Tomlin, man. We all know never finished under 500 and all that stuff. But this is more about how bad the Falcons were.
It's one of those things that whoever the Steelers play, they're probably going to shut down a lot of good wide receivers and, of course, a lot of good running backs because they completely destroyed Bijan Robinson. There was no running game whatsoever, and this is the strength of the Falcons. Kyle Pitts showed up finally. I went ahead and
Kyle Pitts, love that.
I'm happy for the guy. I went ahead and I tweeted out and I tagged Eric on this because he's a big Kyle Pitts diehard. You know what I'm saying? He's been.
You know what I did yesterday, bro? I bet Kyle Pitts to have 2+ touchdowns.
Wow, man.
And
wow.
he got the one early. I was like,
he got the one.
I was thinking, Resurgence got a new quarterback and all that. Somebody actually throw the ball a little bit. And I was like, maybe Kyle Pitts has him a day one time. He got him a touchdown. So shout out to him. Maybe he'll be more involved in that offense. But here's the thing. That offense was very, very bad.
Yeah, I mean, Drake London was shut down. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Do you think the Steelers' offense gets any better with Russell Wilson under center, or do you think they should just roll with Justin Fields, man?
No, I think they need to try out Russell as well.
Yeah,
go with plan one, and it's one of those things. They got him because they know what's going to happen. Justin did not make any mistakes, but Justin did not set the world on fire either. Right. 17 for 20. He was playing a lot of cautious football. I mean, you could tell that he wants a job, so he doesn't want to fuck this up too bad.
That's Pittsburgh Steelers football. Don't turn the ball over. Don't provide a short field. Let your defense do what they do there. Is there a better closer in the game than TJ Watt, man?
My gosh.
Holy moly donut shop. No. That guy is an absolute monster, bro.
TJ is just built completely different. He is so good, man. He is one of those guys that is generational. Him, Myles Garrett, whatchamacallit, the Bosa. I mean, he's really good. And
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, exactly. And I'm missing probably another ones, a couple other ones. But, typical Steeler football, Najee, they ran 20 times. Justin Fields rushed it 14 carries, 57. It was nothing but running the football. There was no difference between Justin Fields and Ritter, all right, in this game, because he didn't pass for shit, just like Ritter did last season
fair, man.
For Arthur Smith.
That is fair. But, yeah, I think this the tell of the tape for me on this one was more about how lackluster or non-existent the Atlanta Falcons offense was, man.
Listen, Kirk, a lot of money for Kirk to just beat mediocre. He is a veteran and he is a old pro. So
I don't know that Michael Penix doesn't give you a better shot. Now that defense, obviously, now they spent some money on that defense when got some people in free agency and all that, and it did its job. I mean, you only gave up 6 field goals. You gave up 18 points in an NFL game. You did a pretty good job there, especially you didn't give up a touchdown. Yeah, so that defense did what they asked it to do, man. And I'm not so sure. We'll give it. I mean, I know it's early, one game, small body of work, but I think if a couple weeks and Kurt ain't done no more than he did yesterday, I think it's time to give Michael Penix a shot. You drafted him for a reason, man.
I think so. They're just going to wait a little longer, probably maybe a couple of games. I think give it a couple. It's just a tough matchup.
Maybe Kirk's still coming back from the damn Achilles and stuff too. Maybe he don't feel just right yet. Yeah. So you got to give it a couple.
You want to give him a break.
You done paid him now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now talk about another shit show by one team. Actually, another ugly game, which also the death of my elimination pool.
Did you get bit by the survivor pool, bro?
Yes, I did, brother.
I didn't touch that.
Your survivor
stuff,
pool,
man. I survived.
I survived. I tried, and I changed it before Sunday, and then I changed it back. I should have gone with my first choice, which was the Saints against the Panthers.
That was a good one. Will had that one. I had the Chargers.
I should, it was funny, man. I browsed at that. But yeah, here's a game that, again, you never, even without Higgins or whatever the case may be, you didn't expect this to happen, especially when your whole offense is Ramondre Stevenson. 25 carries, 120 yards, 1 touchdown. All right. When you look at they really, dude, what the hell, man? They didn't do much. But Jacoby Brissett threw for 121 yards. That's it. He rushed for another 32. This is one of those games that it was as ugly as this other one was, but shit, man, your running back was your entire offense here. And shout out to Ramondre Stevenson because I like him healthy. He is one of the best backs in the league.
I agree with that, sir. I do. I like what I've seen out of Ramondre for a few years now. Never really had a shot to really get in a real rhythm there. It seems like he's every time he gets a couple games stretched there where he plays well, winds up getting banged up or something, or they wind up screwing him over, running the offense terribly. But this was an absolute. I mean, I thought the line looked weird. It was going down. Yep. I knew that the Bengals defense is not great. And it showed yesterday that offense. So the Patriots, they traded away Matthew Judon, got Christian Gonzalez back, but what a great game plan by Gerard Mayo there. Yep. Everybody's telling you you're going to be the worst team in the NFL, in recent memory and all that stuff. And you just come out, you go on the road in the first game, you sack up, and you handle business, man. And Jacoby Brissett wasn't no world beater, but he didn't get you beat. Only 15-24 there for 121 yards, but the key number there is 0 for no pick.
Yep.
And you saw the Bengals turn the ball over, driving the score a couple times in the red zone there. And those are killers, man. When you take those drives with points, these guys are all professionals, and you can't provide that many opportunities no matter how bad the team is supposed to be, because these guys have been hearing that for 2 months too, and they got a chip on their shoulder coming into this thing. So I thought that over a touchdown and seeing that line creep down, I thought this one was scary. I wound up staying away from it altogether. But shout out to the Patriots, man, because they had a great game plan. They executed to perfection.
honestly put the blame on. I don't know if this is a new thing on with the Bengals, starting that.
They do start like shit, don't they?
It's the beginning of the season. Let's fuck everything up, and then we're 0-4. We'll just come back on a world of fire and make the playoffs. They missed Joe Mixon terribly yesterday, even though Zach Moss only had 9 carries, but still had a great yards per carry average of 489. Come on, man. It's just one of those things that Joey, Slim Shady over here, new hair, bad performance, wasn't able to get his team going. And you have enough weapons, and you still got Jamar Chase, regardless of what bug he had or whatever the case may be, in order to make it a contest. It looked like they were uninterested out there or disconnected in this whole game, kind of like zombie-like.
It looked like a team that expected to come in and just cakewalk through this thing, win by 2 touchdowns, be able to kind of coast through the fourth quarter, second half, and all that. And that was not the case. Usually when you come into a game like that and you're not focused up, ready to go, they've had a lot of rumblings in the locker room. Jamar Chase complaining about wanting a contract extension with 2 years to go. And you got drama with T. Higgins as well, wanting a contract extension, getting franchise tagged, and all this and that. All that stuff, all your teammates are hearing that too, and it's distractions, man. It takes away from the practice time, the film time, all the meeting time, all the things you need to prepare for an NFL season. It takes away from that. At least takes away from the focus you have during that time. And all the off-field problems with the Bengals right now, locker room problems and things like that. And Joe Burrow seems to be the MO on him, man. He starts out the season slow. He's going to start out the first few weeks of the season and play pretty rough. And they always seem to put themselves in this hole and have to battle back. And last year it bit them. And I think it may wind up doing it again, because that's not a very good football team I saw on the field yesterday.
No, it was not. It was not a good product. And that's a tough division to take games off like this, especially starting the year. That's a very tough division.
You're right, sir.
Talking about tough losses, more like shit show losses here. The Vikings could a complete beatdown on the Giants, mainly Daniel Jones here. I am convinced that we have the worst quarterback, all right, in the NFL. Worse than Bryce Young. I thought that we were playing the Vikings. We were playing the worst quarterback room. I am convinced that I have no more. Yeah, I know it's one game, but I have no more fucking patience for this guy. You know what I mean? 28-6. Sam Darnold looked like Tom Brady. Out there going 12 for 12. I get it. He's brand new. He has a bunch of new toys. You got Justin Jefferson, who is the guy. Anybody can be good, but gosh, the Giants, the offense is just horrible. I think at this point, I don't know if Brian Dable has no idea what the fuck he's doing anymore, but Daniel Jones looked completely horrible out there. 2 picks. One of them was he can't read the field. Malik Neighbors was running some insane routes, and he couldn't get the ball to Malik Neighbors. I'm just over it, man. I'm just really, really over. I mean, come on. He wasn't even running the football just to get out of trouble.
This was the most surprising game for me this week.
I picked this, actually. I bet it on this game like a moron because emotional distress.
I was a big fan of taking the Giants this week too. I felt like the line was wrong. Clearly, it was wrong, just in the wrong direction that I thought there. Yep. I felt like giving the Giants a point at home here was definitely a good spot. I like the money line. I liked a few alt lines on them. I expected Brian Daboll to have a better game plan. Me too. But you're right. I mean, Sam Darnold comes out and I think he started the game. I saw at one point he was 12 for 12.
12 for 12.
Coming out looking pretty good right there. And that defense that was revamped in the offseason with bringing Brian Burns up from Carolina for New York just really didn't seem to get any pressure on him like I expected him to. Aaron Jones had a big-time game in his Vikings debut, 14 carries, 94 yards, and a tutty right there. Justin Jefferson that's the thing. Justin Jefferson didn't have a great game. Only 4 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown. Addison added the 3 for 35, but got banged up in that thing. But the Vikings, that's the problem with the Giants here, man. The Vikings didn't do nothing incredible.
No, there was not a single stat here that blows you out the water, except for Jones. Jones had a massive game because that defense was so gassed from being on the field on so quickly, because every time the Giants got up there was 3 and out. You know what I mean? Yep. So they had no chance to get themselves together. And Aaron Jones just ran the hell out of him. We know what Aaron Jones can do when he's healthy. Is always the question of can he play more than 4 games without getting hurt, right? To start the season.
Yeah, that's the key for Aaron Jones. There's never a doubt of his talent when he's on the field, but it's all about the availability. That is the best ability. Exactly. And is he going to be available? A big-time play in the Monday night game, Jets, Breece Hall just fumbled by Fred Warner. Fred Warner punched it out there. Becomes he's the only active player in the last 6 seasons to have 8+ fumble recoveries and 8+ interceptions.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And that's crazy. With that being said, before I go to the comments, he is Daniel Jones, and just like last year, All right. Last year when we started week 1, he was our loser of the week, like the Giants. Again, 1 year later, we're starting the year with the Giants and Daniel Jones being the loser of the week.
Le who? The her.
Here's something interesting about Daniel Jones. Ready? I'm gonna put a graphic up before we move on. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, this cannot be right. But I checked my sources and it is right. So Daniel Jones is let me share this. Has thrown 3 pick sixes and only 2 touchdowns since signing the 4-year deal for 160.
Wow.
That's wild. All right. I know he barely played last year, but that's insane.
Wow.
All right. Dude, that is you're a professional football player.
He's thrown more touchdowns to the other team.
Yes.
That's nuts, bro.
And this goofy looking bastard is banging Kay Adams. How the hell does that, in what world? I mean, this is a beautiful world. In what world is this guy, right? Look at him, all right? The way he's one of the shittiest quarterbacks, has thrown more touchdowns to the opposite team, and is also dating one of the hottest pieces of ass out there. That's just like
Daniel Jones got it figured out, man.
He does.
He got everybody fooled.
Here we go. Let's get to the comments here. My boy Ravery Sports. He has a great podcast. Everybody listen to Charles. Oh, man, what is going on? But let me go ahead and let me go to freestyle. I don't think that Jones, it was then Young. Worse than Young. Honestly, I think he was worse than Young because at least he threw for a touchdown. I think honestly, I at this point I take Bryce Young, I'm sorry, over Daniel Jones, because at least we're not paying Bryce Young all that freaking money. You know what I'm saying, dude? Eventually he will.
Yeah, you're not going to do very well with either one of those guys.
No, absolutely. I don't know which one is worse, but you're right. It's pretty bad. Oh gosh, it's pretty bad. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next one because this is one of those things that, hey. Now, going from a loser to a complete winner, all right, a stud, is Josh Allen. Dude, Josh Allen is what you call the nature, or if you look over a picture of a manly man in the dictionary, Josh Allen's going to come out with no wide receivers. And he still is going to go ham for like 4 touchdowns. All right, put the team on his back. Beat a pretty good Arizona team, you know what I'm saying? With their quarterback healthy, Trey McBride, they just got Marvin Harrison, you know what I'm saying? You got James Conner, who's still very, very good.
Yeah.
You drafted a nice, running back as well. I mean, you're not playing a slouch, which, by the way, I picked the points here. The plus 6.5, and I won this bet because I thought the game was going to be close.
I love winning them by the hook right there. So
yeah, man,
that was a big one for Will all week long. Yeah. He was beating his chest on them Cardinals, man. I think he even sprinkled a little bit on the money line, which looked pretty good early on there. The Cardinals kind of imploded down the stretch. Kyler Murray played pretty well. But yeah, Josh Allen kind of put this team on his back, getting 2 rushing touchdowns there. They don't have a proven number 1 wide receiver yet, man. They just don't. You didn't see Dalton Kincaid utilized the way I would like to see him utilized there. But the Bills, I'm telling you, I think this team does not have a lot of depth. And if there's ever any injuries in any key spots, the team falls off pretty quick. And if they got to rely on Josh Allen the way they did yesterday, putting him in that much danger, and he's taking those hits and things like that, it's going to be a long season, man. And he could not see the end of it if he has to continue to do that. I know he's a freak, and I know he's a beast of a guy, man, but it's hard to take those hits week in and week out. And if you're the only thing that you got offensively, James Cook, he looked all right in flashes, man. But easy to write home about there.
No.
So that offense didn't look very much more than Josh Allen yesterday, and I don't.
It was all Josh Allen.
Rely on it just him. I don't know if they can do that without him getting injured. So I think I'm looking at the Dolphins this week.
Yeah, no, you know what? It's a different game. The Dolphins didn't look great either. I mean, a lot of them was rust. You know what I'm saying? And I think their you could tell their offensive line is not as good as they were last year. You could tell their defense is not as good as they were last year. So it's going to be one of those games that I don't know if the Buffalo Bills can hold them and keep them off the field. The offense off the field as much as they want to. But overall, starting the season 1-0 after having your best wide receiver go away, which they needed to anyway. It was a toxic locker room with Diggs there, and we'll talk more about him. But I'm shut out because he is a beast. Kyler, like you said, good game. He's still trying to get his way back, rushing 57 yards. This guy, again, is him and Josh Allen. I think you could guarantee yourself taking the over on the rushings prop, and you're going to be okay for the rest of the season. Most times better than worse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I believe so, sir.
And then again, they just, Marvin Harrison had a really bad debut. I mean, I think Malik Neighbors had a better debut with a worse quarterback. Because think about it, he still had like 6 receptions, and Daniel Jones missed a few targets on him. Your boy Jalen Hyatt wasn't used at all. So it's like, shit, that's the problem with that offense. There's a lot more broken, but I think Marvin Harris is going to be okay. This team is too talented. He'll have easier matchups. I think it's just one of those first game jitters. He should do a lot better.
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine, man. I really do. But just got to get more in sync with that offense, probably.
Yep. But that being said, my friend, Josh Allen is this week
greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Don't cross that line. Go.
When you can perform like that and deliver the win for your team without nobody, you absolutely deserve to be the GOAT of the week. All right. Let's go on to the next matchup here. Honestly, man, look, I don't want to burst nobody's bubble here, but Caleb Williams was not impressive. Yes, he wins his debut, but he has to thank that defense, which he did like 1,000%, because he looked horrible in his debut. 24-17. Mayonnaise boy threw a really bad pick. If you got to watch that video back, but he's just on his knees. And Will Levis, it was just a horrible pick. You're down 17-0. You cannot lose that game just like that. A lot of it was self-inflicted by the Titans, but man, it wasn't a great debut for Caleb Williams. However, that defense did pull the win for him. What was your impression of first and foremost of Caleb, who went 14 for 29, threw for 93 yards, and looked really, really lost in that back there on their center? They didn't look comfortable.
This is what I've been expecting from this guy. I've told everybody's thought that he was going to be the great savior for the Chicago Bears and all this stuff, but I've told you I haven't seen anything the last couple of years at USC that tells me this guy should be the leader of a franchise in the face of a city. I don't. I'm not saying maybe he'll wind up getting it right, figuring it out or something. I don't think so, man. I don't. And Will Levis, much the same way. Yep. He looked absolutely awful yesterday. That's inexcusable by the Titans. Get up 17-0 right there against a team that's got a quarterback that doesn't even throw for over 100 yards, and you allow a 17-point comeback. Yep. Giving up, what was it, a blocked punt or field goal, and then you had a
pick sixes.
Return for pick six there. So, I mean, and I think a return for a touchdown. Something like that too. So, I mean, it was just an absolute disgusting performance by the Titans as well. You get up 17 points there, you should be able to close that out, man. Against a team that does not have an offense anymore than the Bears do. It's not like they could put up points in bunches on you and be able to come back. You had to make a lot of really terrible mistakes, catastrophic mistakes, to even allow them back in the game. And they did. And I mean, that's Titans. That's the youth right there. They don't have a lot of depth either, not a lot of overall talent. There's some guys that can play, but not a lot of overall talent there with the Tennessee Titans. So, I mean, I just thought it was – both these teams are terrible, and I don't think
they were horrible
about them for very much longer.
Hey, you know what? We're not going to stay on this game much longer because it was another horrible game. I think it was bad coaching by, from an offensive standpoint by both sides of the ball, man. But the better defense won. Now this is an entertaining game. The Dolphins here against the Jags, which again I was wrong here. I picked the over in this game. I thought it was going to be a lot more fireworks, and it wasn't the case. Even though it was a nice comeback win by Miami, if it wasn't, you're talking about another punched fumble. Look, it's what saved the game here. ATN right there at the one. Right?
Yep, kicked it through the end zone. Yeah, they came and recovered up the Dolphins there. Yeah, that was the game changing play.
And we all know, Tyreek Hill was put in handcuffs, and we'll save the details for another day because the video is out and stuff like that, and we'll be here forever trying to break that down. But the dude did come back. There's one thing you can't do. You can't lock Tyreek Hill, whether on and off the field. This man can never get locked up because just came back. He does what he does. 82-yard touchdown. Finished with 130 freaking receiving yards, 1 touchdown, 7 receptions. Waddle, which I picked over on the yardage, 5 receptions, 109. Devon A-Chain, this guy is just ridiculous.
He's
can run the football,
man.
Can catch it. He's really good. And we know what the offense can do, right? We know what the offense can do. I'm shocked that Jonnu Smith was not involved a little more. Maybe they didn't need it. Probably used him more as a blocker, that's not his strength because, that offensive line did look a little weak. Tua just does what he does, man. 338 yards. He throws for a lot of fucking yards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, didn't turn the ball over either there.
Nope.
The Dolphins just hung around. They also got in a big hole in this thing. Tyreek reached over 20 mile an hour on that touchdown for the 12th time since 2020, man. He's had a touchdown where he reached over 20 miles an hour for the 12th time. That's pretty incredible right there. That guy can absolutely fly.
That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, that is wild. But yeah, the Dolphins, I mean, shout out to them. They played well, stuck to their game plan, continued to chip away, got an opportunity at the end there, and Jason Sanders bangs in a 50-plus yard field goal. That guy's good too, man.
Yeah.
NFL kickers are really impressive, dude. Those guys are all so good.
Here's the reason why Tyreek Hill gets so many yards, right? There was 4 players in the Dolphins with 100-plus all-purpose yards today.
Tyreek could have had about 200, man.
Yeah.
Tua missed him on one early in the first half
Exactly.
there. That was deep. He was wide open on overthrew him by about 8 yards, but he would have walked in the end zone on that one and would have had about 70 more to the tally. So it could have been a much better stat line for Tyreek. But that guy he's on another level, dude.
Yep. On the other side of the ball here with the Jags, Trevor Lawrence didn't do horrible, but man, we haven't seen Trevor Lawrence kind of like be that Trevor Lawrence of 2 years ago. He's starting another. He's not starting as hot as he did a couple of years ago. Last year, it was kind of an off year. He still got paid. And one thing going into the offense as well, I think that Tank Bigsby yesterday got the same amount of carries. I think the splits were almost 50-50 with Travis Etienne. So I think they're going to focus more on the run this year. I don't know, because I guess, not having Calvin Ridley, losing a little more. It was just a weird game because Christian Kirk only had 1 reception. Nice positive by the rookie Brian Thomas Jr. to get that touchdown.
He's going to be good.
Yeah, Evan Ingram. Yeah, he's going to be good. And Evan Ingram only had 1 reception. The guy that led your team in receiving yards and receptions last year.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a strange game. I don't know what happened here. Maybe they got comfortable. They ran the football a lot, if you could tell by Trevor Lawrence's lack of passing yards, and then the amount of rushing yards between Tank and ATN. So
yeah. They I mean, that's a weird team. For me. They got a lot of pieces that could make plays, but
they don't make
Lawrence. You don't know what you're going to get out of that guy. We saw this early on from the Jaguars last year, where they started out kind of slow, much like the Bengals, and they wound up putting together a little streak there. So they may be still trying to find their footing as well, but they got to feel like they let one slip away yesterday.
Man, and going from someone that needs to find their footing to a team, as you mentioned, Cricket, is a treasure trove for fantasy football and betting on the offensive side, has not skipped a beat in year 2. As a matter of fact, they added another piece to the treasure chest, you know what I'm saying? And Stephon Diggs, who bombed it out with 2 touchdowns. And I forgot about Joe Mixon, who also caught a touchdown. I mean, let's start on that. But first of all, we know CJ Stroud is the truth. Every time I see this guy play, the way he looks back there, calm and collected, and making some throws, I'm like, dude, this guy is like, he's just a prototype. He's built different. Mixon 159 rushing yards. All right, this guy should be washed up already, right? 30 carries, you would think, right? Had another like 19 yards and 3 receptions. Tank Dell, the game was weird because you didn't have like Tank Dell rented like another 20 yards. When you go to the receiving yards, Nico 117, Tank Dell 4 receptions, 7 targets, 40. I mean, because remember the defense for the Colts were there. You know what I mean? They were keeping up.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon. I mean, Stephon Diggs, 2 touchdowns. It's just again, it's a really good team, especially even when things don't go perfect, but you got that quarterback out there, a la Patrick Mahomes, that kind of mentality. I tell people that maybe the way they do it is different between CJ and Patrick, but when you look at the way he runs a team and an offense, it's like there's a very few quarterbacks that everything from up here talks to down, to your body. Everything is in sync. Yep. You got quarterbacks that you're fast up here, but the shit's not, you're not reading everything right.
Very calm dude too.
It
man.
is.
The guys seem to rally around him. Doesn't seem to get rattled in many spots. Doesn't crack under the pressure. Doesn't turn the ball over much. He's got all the attributes you want in a starting quarterback in the NFL there. And seems to be a great leader and backs it up with his play, man. 24, 32, 234, and 2 touchdowns, like you said there. Did take the 4 sacks for 30 yards, so they want to share up that offensive line a little bit. You don't want that guy taking those hits.
No.
But Joe Mixon, I would never have thought that Joe Mixon would get 30 carries in this game right here. I didn't think Joe Mixon would get 30 carries in the first 3 weeks there. But, I mean, great game by him. Stephon Diggs comes in and gets 2 touchdowns in his debut for the Texans. So they got, like you said, weapons all over the field there. The Colts played very well too, man.
They did.
Anthony Richardson, only 9 of 19 passed the ball, but 212 yards, 2 TDs. Had the long pass play to Alec Pierce there, the 60-yard touchdown pass. Jonathan Taylor, kind of a disappointing performance from him.
Yeah, two long ones. Remember, he had the first one. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He did wind up having two of them there. So
that crazy pass where he was getting knocked out. And he has such a strong arm. He flicked it out there and I hit the hands. I'm like, holy crap, that was like 60 yards.
Yeah. He's a savage, man. He's an athletic freak there, but had the bad pick that kind of winds up hurting you in the end there. But that's going to be a really wide open division this year. I think. Yep. The Texans look good and they look like to be the favorites in it, but it's also a team that. Be careful getting, because if a couple guys go down there, they do have backups that can come in. But I just feel like that AFC South there is going to be a pretty wide open division with the Jaguars, the Colts, and the Titans. You don't really know what you're going to get out of. They look good early on in the first half yesterday, but really struggled in the second half. But Texans, go and get a big division win. Anytime you go on the road and get a division win right there, especially first game of the season, that's big time.
Yep. I mean, shout out, man. These guys are all they still have. They did not skip a beat, man, from year two. They are They it's nice. Week one, it's funny because everybody was like, let's see how they come out. They're not the hunted, and not the hunter. So hey, it is what it is. And talking about somebody that's probably a good hunter, man. And you could say whatever you could say about this guy right here, but he's a hell of a fucking coach. And John Harbaugh. When he went in there with a game plan, and you knew he whether you like him or not, he instilled that game plan in there, and did not look back. All right. They made Gardner Minshew completely irrelevant. They ran the football, which that's his MO. Shout out to J.K. Dobbins, man. I am happy for the guy. I hope he plays a full freaking season, because he is that good, man. The guy has had such a bad luck and break with all the injuries. I mean, let's just jump straight to it, man. I mean,
there is nobody on a football field this year that I am pulling for more than J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah, man.
I hope he is an absolute monster this year. I hope he rushes for 1,800 yards and 20 touchdowns, man.
Me too. I hope so too, man. He deserves it. We know the weak aspect of the Chargers. They don't have the wide receivers they did. Again, Ladd McConkey, you have a nice little rookie there that can do a lot of the things, a lot of the short stuff. Let's see what Quentin Johnson does. Then after that, Josh Palmer. I mean, we'll see. It's just going to be a wide receiver by committee, but I think the running game and that defense, which is what, John Harbaugh does.
Jim Harbaugh.
It's going to actually, Jim Harbaugh, sorry, I see John. I always confuse Jim Harbaugh is, it's going to be more competitive than they are going to be less competitive. They're going to be in more games, against good teams, than they're going to be out of it. You know what I mean? And Justin Herbert is one of the best quarterbacks. You're going to see a different year from Justin. He's not going to turn the ball over a lot because he's not going to have to throw it so many times because, again, it's not going to be a force feed kind of offense like he's been, with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, which, you want to have guys like that. But however, it's going to be different. The long run, it's going to be good for Justin Herbert as long as Jim is it's coaching. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I agree. I agree. He didn't have to do much yesterday, man. Only 17-26 for that 144 and a touchdown, but no picks. Only got sacked the one time, so getting the ball out and not putting yourself in a bad spot there. So I think Justin Herbert's still a dude, and Jim Harbaugh's been a winner everywhere he's ever been, man.
Yep. Man, and talking about a winner, man, this guy's becoming a winner right now. Every single week, got paid last year, and had himself a nice little run in the playoffs, beating the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about your boy, man, your squad. All right, the Buccaneers here, and Baker Mayfield had himself. I could give him the go to the week as well, man. My man went out there and was slinging it. 4 touchdowns, bro, and spoiled a very nice debut, record-breaking debut of the young quarterback who looked better than all the rookie quarterbacks. But, yeah, man, your boy Baker was dealing yesterday, man. He was just boy, look good out there, man. Let's start with Baker first, man. 289, 4 touchdowns, on fire.
I mean, 24 out of 30 right there.
Yeah.
Like I said, 289, 4 tutties, no picks. Only got sacked the one time there for 9 yards. But Baker did the damn thing, man. Even had 3 carries for 21 yards. Looked every bit the part of the man deserved to get paid right there. Good look for Bucky Irving, 9 carries, 62 yards in this thing. We had just kind of spread it around with that ball, too. Baker
Dude,
did.
I like
Chris
Bucky.
Godwin had 8 catches, 83 yards. Rashad White, 6 for 75. And then Mike, my guy Mike, who got paid, got the extension in the offseason. That's 5 for 61. 2 tutties there. So it's a great team performance, man. The defense looked pretty good. I'll tell you, the Commanders are going to stop having doing so many design runs. Jaden Daniels, or that poor boy's going to get killed, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm impressed with Jaden Daniels, right? We knew who was not going to throw a football a lot because the Bucs have a good defense, right? And, the offensive line has been shitty the last couple of years. But the element that he brings to the table and what impressed me the most, Yeah, we know he could run. We always knew that, right? He got 88 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. Actually, let me share some numbers with you. He actually is he's the first rookie ever in week 1 history. First QB with a rushing touchdown. All right, most rushing yards and most rushing touchdowns as well. First rookie quarterback to ever do that in the history of the NFL. But what I like about him, he's a little bit of, what I saw from CJ Stroud. I'm not calling him CJ Stroud, but dude, the guy didn't look frazzled back there, man. And like some guys just scramble and they look like a chicken with their head cut off. When this guy was getting out of trouble, it wasn't. He still looked like, damn it, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna get away from this guy. I'm gonna go up and go to the sideline and get off. He wasn't really taking a lot of he was taking a lot of risk, and like that demeanor from the young men. And look, fantasy wise, I drafted him. I have Hurst and him because I'm gonna trade one of these 2 guys. I'm already getting offers left and right. You know what I'm saying? From a fantasy standpoint, running quarterbacks is your jewel when it comes to fantasy. But I was impressed with the young man. What do you think?
Yeah, I did. I thought he looked the best out of the rookies this week. I did. We always knew he could run the football. The only player in FBS history to pass for 12,000 yards and rush for 3,000 in his career between Arizona State and LSU. So, known this guy was a player for a while, and I just think that they're going to have to try to protect him a little bit more, man.
Yeah.
I thought they put him in danger too many times there. It looked like design run, stuff you do in a high school game when you just got a better athlete than everybody else. And that's not the case in the NFL, man.
No.
You have that guy taking a lot of really tough hits from dudes running fast, hitting hard. And I think they got to try to protect him a little bit more and take down on the hits that he's taking each week. But I was very impressed with Jaden Daniels.
And, here's the other thing. I think the chemistry will kind of gel a little bit with them, and his wide receivers. McLaurin had an off game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Austin Eckler led you with receiving and yards and catches, which tells you how much in danger the guy was. He was dumping it down. Again, it's one of those things. They got to find that balance, which they didn't have yesterday. And I guess with easier matchups, you might see a little bit, a better game from, a passing perspective than it is running. Again, look, it's the NFL, man. Like you said, this kid is very athletic. It's probably more athletic than most of the quarterbacks in this league, but so are all these other linemen across him. They're as fast and bigger than him. So it's a different speed. It's a different speed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And talking about a different speed, man, is my cow bitches here went ahead and annihilated the Cleveland Browns, which, by the way, breaking news not too long ago. Another case for our boy here, Deshaun Watson, and this one looks pretty bad because I don't know how this is gonna end up because it wasn't part of the original 20-something.
I think you could bring this stuff back after you'd already done it one. Didn't they settle out of court or something with all this?
No, I think this might be this is something different. And according to the details,
this is the Browns owner using all that oil money to try to get rid of his ass.
That's what I thought. And I think the first time around, Deshaun was able to get protection, right? Because we didn't see the shitty Deshaun Watson, right? Because remember, it was after there was the MVP Deshaun Watson when he got traded, right?
Yeah.
So now that we see the crappy Deshaun Watson, I think the NFL is gonna be like, we gotta wash our hands of this shit because we fucked up.
They're probably trying to find a contract breach or something, so they don't have to.
And the Browns are all over it. Money. Yeah. They should. I mean, talk about a robbery. I think it has to be the worst contract in the history of the NFL.
They should have never gave him all that damn money guaranteed in the first damn place. But yeah, I think they're trying to look for some angle to get rid of his ass.
And that would be probably the smartest things the Browns has ever done since his contract, or probably the history of the team.
Yeah, that would actually be a smart move because I think he is an absolute bum, man.
Oh my gosh,
you'd be better off letting Jameis Winston go out there and flee and hope that defense will save you.
Yeah,
Cowboys look good, man. I tell you, I do. I got a kind of different feeling about the Cowboys this year. I think they are going to kind of make a run in this thing. The defense is nasty. You got some weapons. Jake Ferguson going down definitely hurts them.
That hurt a lot.
But you got CeeDee Lamb paid. He's going to be CeeDee Lamb, and I think Dak is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, man.
Hey, he is one of the better, regular season quarterbacks. He'll get you to the playoffs.
Right. Regular season quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Dak get over that hump. I think Dak gets a lot of hate. That's kind of undeserved. That guy's had a great career.
Yeah, no, he has. And you know what? I think they're keys for a good season. You got to make Rico Dowdle your number one back.
You got to get him way more involved, man. Zeke
way more involved.
Can't be the number one guy.
No,
he can be a third down back for you and get you some of those gritty yards and stuff like that. But he's going to give you about that stat line every week: 10 for 40 and a touchdown.
I think Rico Dowdle can be the guy that he could definitely. Oh my gosh, he could be a workhorse. The dude is actually built like a brick, like a brick house.
Yeah,
man. He's
very shifty guy too, man.
Yeah, very shifty, big. He's strong and shifty as well, and quick. So, And let's talk Browns here for a little bit. Jerome Ford got himself. My other. So there was a nice parlay that I took. I took Jerome Ford and James Conner anytime touchdown, and Jerome Ford went in there at the end plus 400. Boom, he actually scored. I'm like, hey, there we go, baby. I parlay that, man. It was a garbage one. I was like, yeah, let's go, man. Did pretty good with anytime touchdowns yesterday. I got another parlay with Kenneth Walker as well, and that one also hit. So yeah, I did good yesterday. I start the season when it comes to betting like a house of fucking fire. By week 3, it's like everything just fucking goes downhill. Same thing with baseball.
Marathon, not a sprint, sir. For sure.
Yeah, man. I don't know why, because I wasn't really fast when it came to running in high school, man. I had quick feet. Just I was in blazing speed, man. I was a long distance kind of guy.
I understand, sir. Hey, you should be all right then, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, the Browns is the Browns, man. Jared Jeudy got himself a touchdown. I think he's hurt again. I don't know. But that's it, man. Amari Cooper is just good. Like you said, the defense for the Dallas Cowboys, they finally paid everybody. Dak is now making $240 million, $231 guaranteed. Deshaun Watson guaranteed money, $60 million. I mean, everybody says, oh, they paid Dak. They've paid Dak twice already. Dak has reset the market twice already. If you notice, right? You know what I mean? He's reset the market twice. We forget that he got $45 million right after fucking Patrick Mahomes got all that money. So it's like, come on, man. This guy has reset the market twice.
It's insane, man.
It's just like the stock market, bro. Supply and demand. It is what it is.
It's not who you are, it's when you are.
Exactly. Talk about Kenneth Walker, man. He had himself a game last night. Again, we saw in the injury report, the abdomen and stuff like that. But look, he was I think he had 109 yards, a touchdown, like 21 carries. Geno Smith, again, I don't know if Geno is the answer for this team. They played a Denver team with a young rookie quarterback, which honestly, I think he outplayed Caleb Williams. It's not saying much. It's not saying much, but he did.
Yeah,
but let's play him. He did. Geno, let's go. Let's just go with the Seahawks first. Geno 18 for 21. He did throw a pick. Kenneth Walker 20 carries, 103 yards. One touchdown. Again, they nothing really to their defense was pretty good. I think they played a rookie quarterback that made some mistakes. Nothing exciting, over the air for the Seahawks, but they got the win. They should have gotten the win against the Broncos. The Broncos, I think look better than they did last year to start the season. But it's gonna be growing pains for Bo Nix, 26 out of 42, 2 interceptions, and he made some really stupid throws.
It's going to be some growing pain. Yeah. The Denver Broncos still a year or two away here if they don't have to rebuild when the Sean Payton experiment doesn't really work like they wanted it to.
Yes.
But it wasn't a great performance by the Seahawks either. Pretty ugly game right here. And, Seahawks give up. I think the Broncos actually had 2 safeties in this game. And so, it's some really ugly football by both of these teams. But first game of the year, Seahawks wound up doing enough to get it done. But neither one of these teams gave me a lot to really have faith in them going forward.
Not at all. It was an ugly game. I guess Bo Nix shows some, he has a little athleticism. We saw it in college. It was a nice little run for a touchdown where nice little pump fake, little spin move, got into the end zone. Not bad. I mean, I don't think it would have been much different with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson had a decent year last year, so that's why I said I think Russell needs to be the starter in the next game for the Pittsburgh Steelers if he's healthy.
If he's healthy. Yeah, if he's healthy, he probably will be.
Yep. And getting down to the last game, my guy, we have the Lions and the Rams. I think we touched every game, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I missed anything.
No, I believe you're good, sir.
Yep. So the Lions and the Rams, man, last night, overtime, they ran it in overtime because shit, man. I mean, talk about defense being gassed and David Montgomery getting a handoff at every single play and ran down the throats of that defensive line. Like it was like a you do this like when you ever seen a bowling ball just like plow through pins. That's the way this guy looked, and that's what makes the damn Lions so dangerous because they have 2 unbelievable number 1 running backs who are used very, very well. I mean, it's like almost identical how they split the snaps with these guys.
Yeah, and then also got some guys on the outside. Got one of the best tight ends in football. Jameson Williams looks good last night. I think he expected him to have a breakout season. He
finally showed up.
Yeah, had a scary moment there where he twisted the ankle up, went off, got it taped up. Looks like it's not going to be a bad deal. So the Lions are a team to be messed with. You know, you got I saw a lot of injury problems on the offensive line for the Rams, getting guys banged up throughout the game. Puka went down. We talked about that. Cooper Kupp was good, had a big game. Matthew Stafford, we always know he's a competitor, but
yes, absolutely.
But that guy always comes to play every single week. And Detroit Lions are a team to be messed with. It's not a terrible loss for the LA Rams outside of the injuries and the things that they may wind up being hurting them down the stretch. That they don't have a lot of depth on that team. But all in all, the Rams look pretty good and were very competitive in this game. I expected the Lions kind of blow them out, and the Rams had every chance to win this game.
Absolutely. I mean, they had a chance to win this game. They were up, you know what I'm saying, with very few minutes left in the game. Again, Detroit has just a lot of weapons, and and Jared Goff commands that offense very well. That's his team. The reason why they paid him to keep him. I mean, you couldn't do any better than that right now out there. But I like the Rams as well. You got the veteran presence, man. You know what I mean? Oh, it looks like my camera froze a little bit here. Hold on a second. Let me switch cameras here real quick, my guy. Because
you're good, brother. You're good. But yeah, going back to the Rams and the Lions there, not a bad performance by either team. You see, the Lions being able to get it done in overtime, but the Rams, for me, it was more, you did see them gassed in the overtime there, and David Montgomery just kind of ran through them and just kept trucking down the field. They didn't have an answer for him. He got stood up at the 5-yard line on that one play and then drove for about 4 more yards all the way to the 1 there, and the Rams didn't have an answer for that on the defensive line. Obviously missing Aaron Donald, one of the greatest defensive players of all time now, but I did like what I saw to Jared Verse, the rookie out of Florida State, their first round pick there. That guy was one of my favorites for defensive rookie of the year. He got his first sack last night. He looked good there, but Detroit team to be reckoned with this year.
Yep. They are the same team from last year. They did a couple of tweaks here and there. They pay their people. They're a good squad, man. They're a really good squad, and it is what it is, man. And then the Rams, like you said, they will be there. The Rams will be there at the end.
Indeed,
man. Cricket, we blew it down, baby. Look at this. We blew this thing down, man. That's every game, brother. That's every game of the Sunday slate, baby.
Man,
Welcome back, man.
I've already cashed a bet tonight in this Monday Night Football game, and I did have.
Tell me what's going on, man, because I don't have a TV in front of me.
It's 7-6 Jets right now. Breece Hall scored the first touchdown. I took him a little plus 700, man. So already cashed a good little ticket there. Start this thing off, but 7-6 Jets right now. Looks like about 2 minutes into the second quarter. And the 49ers probably about to get the ball back.
Okay. Let me see. I think I told you I got a couple of bets going on. I got a Breece Hall anytime touchdown. All right. And then I need so actually I got two. This is what I have going on before we go. I have two little 3-leg parlays going on here today, in addition to the 49ers money line. I got Breece Hall anytime touchdown that hit, 49ers money line, and Debo over 14.5 rushing yards. And then I got Breece Hall anytime touchdown, Debo anytime touchdown, and Debo again. This line went down earlier. I had it at 11.5. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, dude. I got a combination of both.
I like that.
But you know how it is, man. I got like 4 different sports book. I've learned to do some what did you call that? When you kind of bet both sides and
arbitrage.
I'm experimenting a little bit with that. I'm not a pro at it yet.
There's always spots to find some value there, man. You just gotta know where to dig in those weeds at.
Exactly, man. So, listen, before we leave, man, let's go ahead and give the folks, man. I got a bet. Let's just give these guys an early bet of the week that you are looking for, man, and you feel that is actually really good. In the new segment that we want to call the Unscripted Bet of the Week. I know I kind of sidetracked it with this one. Next week, I'll give you some more time because we're gonna do this every week. But this one, let me give you mine first, all right? Let me give you mine first so you kind of think about it a little bit. But this one I'm on, man. I'm going crazy, bro. Chargers -6.5, all right, -110. This line I think went up, all right, since it opened this morning. It was like 3.5, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look at the I think it was like 3.5 when it opened, and now it's 6.5, and I think how bad the Panthers are and how much they're going to run the ball. I don't know, man. Call me crazy, but I'm taking.
I don't hate that one, man. I don't hate that one at all. The Panthers, it's not a bad bet to bet against them any week this year. I don't believe. I'm actually going to go to college football for my one of the bets I like. One of my favorite early bets of the week, man. I'm looking at the LSU South Carolina game. I like South Carolina getting 7 at home. It's going to be a noon kickoff in SEC country there. You got a South Carolina team that looked real bad against Old Dominion in week 1, only winning that game by 4 points. Had to come from behind there, but did get the job done. But go on the road to Kentucky last week as 9-point dogs and wound up getting a 31-6 victory, really dominated against the Wildcats up in Lexington. And you got an LSU team coming off that loss in week 1 to USC out in Las Vegas there. Come back home to a Nicholls State team that they should be just worlds better than, and it was a much closer game than expected. They wound up grinding it away and kind of salting it out. It looks a lot better. The score looks a lot better than they played against that Nicholls State team. Now you got to go on the road for a noon kickoff in an SEC road game. It's always a tough environment. In South Carolina, a team with some momentum right here. I think giving them a touchdown is far too much at home. So that's one of my best bets of the week is South Carolina +7 at home against LSU.
You know what, Cricket? Sometimes you just got to.
Well, sometimes you just have to hawk Tua and spit on that thing, you know?
That's right.
And go ham with it, bro.
That's right, bro. Yes, sir.
Bro, that's all we got this week, my man. Good job. Look at this, man. We are under an hour, but we got about to hit an hour now. We gave the people a lot of content, bro. This is the opening show, week 1, man. Thank you for coming on board. Glad to have you back, my guy. Tell everybody what you're up to, because, man, you are busier than a guy with 20 fucking jobs, man. Remember the skit in Living Color? I don't know if you remember Living Color, the Jamaican family that, when they met the guy, how many jobs do you have? 1. Well, what do you mean you only have 1 job? You're like the Jamaican family from A Living Color, bro. Go ahead. Tell us what you're up to, brother.
I appreciate you having me back, and I always enjoy coming and doing this with you, man. Yeah, I am pretty busy right now. You can come check me out over at sportspicks.locals.com, where we got the great Robert Barnes making the official picks. We actually have a promo going on through the end of September. Use the promo code 2024. That will get you half off of your monthly subscription. And we got a great community. You post your own picks, videos, things like that. You got a live chat that's open year round. You got Q&As with Robert on Fridays where he'll answer all the questions in the chat. So great community, man. A lot of fun there. Use that promo code 2024. You can come over there and sign up with us at sportspicks.locals.com. You can find me every morning over on the Game On channel with my guy Will for your sports morning espresso shot. We get rolling about 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, 4:30 a.m. Pacific every single morning. Right now, Monday through Sunday with football going on, we're 7 days a week.
Wow,
so you can find me there. And I also do a show, started a new show today, Crick's Corner, over on the Game On channel with all recapping college football on Mondays and a look ahead to the weekend on Fridays. That's about 1 p.m. Eastern there, so you can find me on that. And then me and my guy Steps on Thursday evenings at 5 p.m. looking into the Thursday night game and all that stuff. So I'm around, man. You can find me, and you can find me on X at Cricket1414. Cricket is spelled with 2 T's.
There you go, baby. Follow Cricket. I tell you this every year. One of the best, one of the hottest, and one of the most individual, handicappers and guys that are in the betting business that actually share a lot of content. Not only that, but also shares a lot of free stuff, a lot of free picks. And trust me, man, you ain't gonna find a better deal than following this man on X. Follow him today. If you like money, you want to follow him. If you don't, then don't fucking follow him because you're an idiot. But that's okay. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, sir. We're just trying to find some winners laying in the weeds, sir. Men of the people.
You got him. And hey, every week, Monday, we switch the show to Monday. So like that, we have, we get that Sunday slate out of the way. We'll be back here next week on Monday. This is your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Network. And always with my man, Cricket. We will see you when, Cricket.
See you next Monday.
There you go, baby. All right. Peace, guys.